Hi, this is Aaron Maslansky, and you're about to listen to the next episode of Inside the Skev. This week, we're going to be speaking with the Mayor of Skokie, Mayor George Van Dusen, and also Trustee Karen Gray-Keeler. And we're going to talk about what's going on in Skokie, why they do what they do, and how to get involved. And I think it's a great episode. And just as a quick reminder, I'm a realtor at Dreamtown Realty in Evanston. If you ever need any help with your real estate needs, let me know. Email me at aaron@skevinston.com or go to my website at aaronmaslansky.com. Thanks so much. Welcome to Inside the Skev, and I'm your host, Aaron Maslansky. Today we have a really special episode. We are speaking with the Mayor of Skokie, Mayor George Van Dusen, and we are also speaking with Village Trustee Karen Gray-Keeler, who is a Skevinston resident, technically Skokie. And just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate you guys being here.
Thank you for having us.
It's my pleasure. So I want to talk about, why you guys do this and what's going on in Skokie, and a little bit about Skevinston, the history there. Mayor, you've been the mayor for 20 years, right?
Correct.
So, what drives you to do this? Like, how much do you enjoy what you do?
I enjoy it because it gives me an opportunity to do something positive for the community. I've always been interested in government, in politics, not always in local government. Originally, I was interested more in federal government. I worked for a congressman for 26 years.
Sure.
But I got involved locally, and what I discovered was at the national level, if you look back 50 years, the problems are very much the same today as they were then. We've made progress, but many of the problems are the same. But at the local level, it's often possible to identify a problem, particularly a land use problem, create a solution, and then put it into action.
So you like being able to implement?
Yes, there's a sense of accomplishment that comes at the local level. You're also much closer to the people who live in the village. I shop at the local grocer like everybody else. I go to the same stores. I walk my dog, all of this kind of stuff. And I hear from people what's on their minds. And the thing about Skokians is they're not reticent to express themselves.
Not at all.
They always do so politely, but also they're very well educated. Sometimes it's well educated academically, sometimes it's through life experience. But everybody in the community wants to improve our lives.
Sure.
My children both live in Skokie. My grandchildren live here. They go to the schools in Skokie. I want this to be the best community possible for my family, for yours, and for Karen's, and everybody else.
Well, I think what you've done definitely has made it a great community. I mean, and for me personally, I grew up here and came back here too. So I think that a lot of towns lose people as they grow up, and they may go to a different city. But I see personally a lot of people that I knew growing up also coming back here, and thankfully been able to help a lot of them buy houses in the area too. So, Karen, what brought you into village government?
Unlike the mayor, I had no interest in politics or government. I've always been a community volunteer as my kids were in school. I was major volunteer in all the schools they went to and other community organizations. And I was just looking for something more to get involved in, and I found out about the Skokie commissions. Still at that point, no interest in politics. It was just giving back to the community.
Sure.
And from the commission, I then found out about the caucus party, got involved in the caucus party, and eventually led to being a trustee.
Yeah. And do you find it very fulfilling?
very fulfilling. It's been absolutely wonderful. As the mayor said, we live in such a fantastic community. And the more involved I got, the more impressed I've been with how well run Skokie is. The staff is fantastic. The other trustees, people are really invested in the community, the good of their hearts.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so if somebody's interested in getting involved civically, I mean, I think, the past couple of years there's been a big call to get more involved civically. How do you go about doing that? Do you recommend joining a commission first like you did, or are other types of things? What are your thoughts?
There's a range of things people can do. Selfishly, I would encourage people to join a commission. Mm-hmm. It's one way to have a direct impact on the village board and on the community at large. But that's selfish, because I'm always trying to find people to help us out. One of the problems that we have as a community is our residents are very busy. It's not unusual within a family to have the husband and wife both working. The kids need to get to soccer practice, baseball practice, do their homework. It's a very involved kind of life. Mm-hmm. It's very hard to get people to volunteer these days. PTAs are having the same kind of problem. We have problems getting people to run for school boards, the library board. So I encourage anybody who's interested in getting engaged, join a commission. If you have children, join the PTA. Or get involved in your local Little League if your children are interested in Little League baseball. But the important thing is try, if you can, to make the time.
Right. Well, I think, you talk about the commissions and some of the things that Skokie does to, get people involved and, make it really a community. And, recently there was the SOAR Children's Art Exhibit reception, and, all the Skokie school children were there. My daughter was there, and you took a picture with her, and, we've got the award up on in our house, and that's a great way to really spark civic engagement from an early age and to kind of showcase what we have. And I think, that's one of the things that people can get involved in, right?
It is. The SOAR program is an example. It was the brainchild of the Skokie Fine Arts Commission. One of the commissioners was a grammar school teacher, and she suggested that maybe we have a little art fair, but not for adults, but for grammar school kids. Well, the program itself soared.
Oh, yeah.
We fill the Performing Arts Center. The main floor is filled with children, their parents, their teachers at the event. And for about a month, their artwork is up on display. And when people come to the Performing Arts Center for a play or a concert or something, they have the opportunity to see what kind of talent is here in this village. It's hard to believe what young people today can do in an artistic vein. The subsidiary of that, of course, is we're trying to send the message to these young people: get involved, stay involved, contribute, and it's a very fulfilling event, the SOAR event. Mm-hmm. But I might also point out our Board of Health was one of the leaders in the state in getting Tobacco 21 passed. We do know statistically that people who get addicted to smoking do it at an early age, when they're in their teen years. If somebody isn't smoking by the time they're 21, the odds are they're not going to become a smoker.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how many lives or bad cancers are going to be avoided because of Tobacco 21. But as Karen and myself and others have told the Board of Health, you undoubtedly have saved lives, and you have given people the opportunity, at least, to have a smoke-free life. And those are just two of the examples of the direct result that commissions have on the lives of the residents of Skokie.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's a huge benefit to people. And I think, some of the other things that the village does is try to promote and encourage economic development. And, I see what's going on here in downtown, and there's, new buildings going up. You've got the big apartment complex going up at Lincoln and Oakton. And, I recently had on the owners of Ignite Gaming, and they told me how much they appreciated the help of Skokie. And, they were just, they couldn't believe it, how great you guys were to them. And that's a beautiful space. So how do you encourage growth in these types of things that residents want? And, what new types of things do you guys see on the horizon?
We have an awful lot of stuff that's on the horizon, some of it which we can't talk about because, as you know, being a realtor, it's not public yet. One
Sure.
of the frustrations I find is there's so many wonderful things out there that we can't talk about yet. People comment they'd love to have certain things coming to Skokie, and our economic development department keeps talking to different businesses all the time. They're not just sitting there waiting for people to come to us. And for various reasons, different businesses can or cannot come to the spaces that are available.
Right.
I am aware of a project that will probably, hopefully next spring, be able to say, wow, that's fantastic. I'm frustrated because I'm a person that, I want this done today. And I'm well aware that people have to find the property, they have to have the financing, they have to get their permits, they have to have all sorts of things in place. And I think sometimes that's a frustration with it. There are lots of developers looking at Skokie to do many different projects. And an example is the 8,000 North building that we have going up across the street here.
Right.
We had, 7 different developers bid on that, wanting to do projects there, and 3 of them are going to be doing projects in Skokie.
Oh, so even though they're not doing 8,000 North, they're going to be doing other projects throughout.
Right. There is
Okay.
so much interest in Skokie right now. It's just absolutely fantastic. One of the advantages we have, of course, is we are so close to Chicago, so close to transportation, the expressways. There's a lot of good stuff happening.
Yeah, and it's affordable. I mean, just selling real estate and houses in the area, I just know how there is such demand. So, and it's exactly because of those reasons, and the schools and the parks and everything else that we have here. And, let's talk about by Church and Crawford, there's a project that's going up, and that's going to be condos?
It'll be condos with retail on the first floor.
Okay. Yeah, people always talk to me about how it would be great to have more coffee shops, walkable to that area or other areas throughout Skokie. And, I posted on Facebook, I said, I'm meeting with the mayor today, going to be doing the podcast. I said, what types of questions, should I ask? And some people were asking, can we get more breweries here? Can we get more coffee shops? So are those some of the types of things that are going to be coming in?
Stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned, as the mayor just said.
We are 75% there on the brewery.
Great.
No announcement can be made. Well, I'll give you an example. I won't name names, but we had a brewery. We lost it by half an hour. It's not an exaggeration. We had courted a brewery that was prepared to expand. They had found space in Skokie. They had negotiated the lease, and they were ready to sign the lease. They had an appointment half an hour before the signing. They were told they were subletting a warehouse at the time. They were told that the warehouse had been closed down and everything inside, their equipment plus another brewery's equipment, were being seized because the owner of the warehouse had reneged on his mortgage. We lost the brewery.
That's frustrating.
What I've learned over the years is until you cut the ribbon and the lease is signed, don't announce it. That's just one example. We have another.
I do want to mention, though, that was in Chicago. They were expanding to Skokie.
Yes, that's right. They were expanding. Yeah, thank you. They were expanding. The brewery at the time was a craft brewer. They were moving to Skokie because we had the larger space. We have also a couple distribution centers. One is being built as we speak. Another is built, and we think we will have a single user in the space. So yes, I think the brewery looks very good right now. We do have coffee shops in the village.
Sure.
But people have to go to them.
Well, you have in downtown Skokie, you have Euro Cafe.
Well, Euro, Sweetie Pies. Down the street, there's Pressed, which is more down toward the Skokie Swift station. It's on the south side of the street. Mm-hmm. It's a very good coffee shop.
And really good hot chocolate there, too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, great hot chocolate. Yes, and in 8,000, no announcement. I don't know what the negotiations are, but there will be a white tablecloth restaurant. We think there may also be a small coffee shop there.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing everybody wants.
Right.
It's a matter of finding somebody to open it. It's a very risky business for an independent entrepreneur, like the restaurant business itself. You have to be there all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And you're completely dependent on the whim of your customers. And even if you get $3.50 for a cup of coffee, how many cups of coffee do you have to sell to pay your mortgage, your staff, your utilities, all of that? It's a very tough business.
Absolutely. I mean, I've talked with people about it too, and some of them say until you open up the third one, you're not making money because you can get your economies of scale going.
It's very true.
Yeah. So I think some people think, people can just snap their fingers and something happens, but there's a lot more to it, for sure.
Yes.
It is frustrating when I go into the small independent coffee shops that we do have and don't see them full of people.
Yeah.
But then you go to Starbucks, and I'm not knocking Starbucks at all, but Starbucks, it's nonstop people coming in. So it's a matter of, if we get the coffee shops,
Right.
People have to go to them.
Well, I think one of the good things, part of that is having the workforce there. And, one thing that I think is great in Skokie is the high-tech park. So you have like this huge generator of people, and one of the reasons why we have the Skokie Swift station now by Oakton and Skokie Boulevard. So how has that changed Skokie, that high-tech park?
Well, it's helped to revitalize the so-called downtown area. downtown Skokie has bedeviled us forever because it's caught in the middle between two major regional shopping centers.
Right,
to
with
the
Old
north,
Orchard.
you've got the iconic Old Orchard. To the south, you've got the big box Village Crossing. Downtown is by and large mom and pop operations.
Mm-hmm.
What the tech park does is it creates a park-like atmosphere. What I would like to do is take people back before the park opened to the days of Searle and Pfizer Pharmacia, when it was a monolith. There was one entrance, and that was it. When Pharmacia was closing up, they asked us, they asked Skokie, what do you want? And we said, we want jobs, jobs, green space. Forest City came in, infused approximately $150 million into the park. The village put in 10, the state 15. And the idea was to create a park-like atmosphere where neighbors could walk through, they would feel welcome, sit down, they could have lunch or recreate, do whatever.
Even the bike path goes through there now.
The bike path now goes through there. We wanted it to be part of the neighborhood, and the Skokie Swift Station was something that we worked on for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was, where are these scientists going to come from? The park now has more employees than it did when Pfizer or Searle was there.
Wow.
We have 1,600 employees. It is completely leased up. We have a nice problem. What are we going to do for those companies? There are about 20 of them when they want to expand. One of the companies, Lanzatech, which originated in New Zealand, it's very innovative. It recycles carbon. Just signed a contract with Virgin Air to provide recycled carbon fuel for the airline.
Wow.
It's very imaginative.
Talk about high tech.
I can tell you what I just did. Don't ask me to put it on the periodic table or anything. I'm not a scientist, but Dr. Holmgren started out when she moved from New Zealand to Skokie with 10 employees. She has now increased her workforce close to 1,000%. She just expanded and took an additional 25,000 square feet. She's negotiating contracts around the world. I just mentioned the Virgin Air. That's just one example of what's being done there. Some guy by the name of Bill Gates, who has a venture capital company that with Phil Schmidt, formerly of Google, and a series of other big names. I think some guy by the name of Warren Buffett might have a little piece of the action. They just put in, I think it was $10 or $20 million into one of the companies in the park. What they do is they identify companies that are at the mid-range, that are preparing to make application to the Food and Drug Administration or some other federal regulatory agency in order to get a patent and then produce the product. So this venture capital company waits to see which ones are on the verge and invests. It's almost like Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Invests at just the right time where they will make a profit. but it'll push that company out onto the market. And we have companies like that there. Vetter Pharma from Ravensburg, Germany, keeps expanding. Mr. Vetter came in for the opening, and this is the perfect story answering your question. I went over to meet him. We had a welcoming reception. He and I exchanged pleasantries, and he said to me, I don't do German accents, but so there's the train. I want to see your train. I said, it's not built yet. It was about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I took him by the hand, walked him up to the pedway, and I said, come back in a year. That's where the train station will be. I asked him, why do you care so much? And he said, well, I'm bringing 15 scientists over from Germany to get the company started here. In a year to 2 years, there will only be one German. Everybody else is going to be from your area. I think my scientists, if they profile as we expect, they don't want to drive cars. They want to take trains. They want public transportation. And I want to be able to sell that to them. So I said, come back in a year. You're going to see the station there. He not only kept his word, within a year, 14 of the 15 employees were all from our area. They now are up to, I think it's like 45 employees.
Wow.
They're all from here. And the German who is in charge of running the company here, she got married about a year ago, and she and her husband bought a condominium in Skokie.
Talk about a success story, right?
Yeah, I think we're doing good things there. The southern end of the tech park is now being developed into 140,000 additional square feet. It'll be lab space, maybe a 30% or so will be lab space. The remaining part will be offices, scientific offices, conference rooms. If you go over to the park, 8045 is the state of the art. Developers who are putting up parks like this around the country come to our park that get an idea of how do you do it? Because what you want is to create a collaborative atmosphere.
Sure.
So that scientists are talking shop in the hallway, and they can jump into a conference room where there's a whiteboard, and they can write their formula on the whiteboard, and they can debate and argue and try and solve their problems. And 8045 is designed exactly for that.
It's pretty incredible. Well, I think we could talk for a lot longer, but I know you have to get going. But I think that our conversation really just shows the kind of breadth of what Skokie has to offer, and I really appreciate you guys coming on. And if somebody wants to find out more about Skokie and about what's going on, do you suggest they just go to the website, to skokie.org?
It's brand new.
Okay.
Karen, you can.
And finally, we've got the website. It's absolutely fantastic, very user-friendly. And, of course, go on the website, and if they have any interest in getting involved in a commission, there is an application form on the website, and I do encourage people to take a look.
Great.
And I think it's is it 90 languages? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
It's something like 90 or 100 languages. It automatically will translate. There's an area when you get on the website where you can click on, and it will give you a list of, and I should have checked beforehand, but I think it's like 90 or 100 different language. So you click on French or Chinese or something, and the website then translates into that language.
This is Skokie.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's why we have the cultural festival and everything else here. I mean, this is a truly diverse community, and that's part of what makes it great.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Aaron.
And thanks, everybody, for listening.
Thank you.
Hi. Thanks so much for listening to this latest episode of Inside the Skev. Hope you enjoyed it. And just a reminder, if you're looking to buy or sell real estate in the Chicagoland area, specifically in Skokie or Evanston or Skevinston, go to my website at aaronmasliansky.com or feel free to reach out to me at aaron@skevinston.com. And don't forget to subscribe and tell all your friends about it. Thanks so much.